So if you're to think about your gap year, what are some of the biggest takeaways that you noticed, or some of the biggest areas of growth you saw in your life? And maybe did any of the activities in the game plan really help you in that process?
Yeah, so my personal I had three favorite pillars. So the self-care pillar, the financial literacy, and then the last one being the passion project, were the three that made me feel like I had the most personal growth throughout my gap year and kind of resonated with me. The self-care was definitely something that it's always in the back of your mind and you kind of put it to the side until you have a breakdown and then you're like, oh, maybe I should do some self-care. So that definitely taught me to, even if I don't feel like I need it, just do a little bit of self-care. It can take 5 minutes out of your day, but the result of it can be lasting for 5 days, right? It can be so beneficial for the week. So having that kind of layout in words explaining how self-care works, how every little aspect of it and little detail of it adds up for big progress was definitely something that I like to see and have. The financial literacy pillar, money was always something that was definitely, it was a motivation for me on my gap year. I ended up working 3 jobs throughout my gap year and found it hard to keep track of it all, right? So to have that pillar to teach me how to budget and manage my money it was great. It gave me the confidence. I went and had meetings at banks by myself. It just gave me more confidence to actually know what I was getting into and knew what I was talking about, right? Which is something that you're not necessarily taught in high school, how to go open your own bank account and stuff. So yeah, I found that definitely a lot more helped with the confidence there. Yeah, and then lastly was my passion project, which was led by the self-care and the financial literacy pillar. My passion project was this huge trip to the mountains, which is something that is super self-care and relaxing for me, just to get away from home kind of thing. And I knew how to budget it. I stayed within my budget. I was actually below budget. I booked hotels. I figured out gas prices and everything like that. Found the best deals with places, got the most bang for my buck, which was something that my parents always did, right? You go on a family trip, it's done. You just show up and it's great. Everything's laid out for you. Whereas I had to plan and budget the whole trip, which these pillars I feel like really helped set me up for success with that trip, for, like I said, the most bang for my buck and not going and spending way more than I needed to.
Yeah, I think those three examples are so great because it's talking about things that are really applicable. Like, these aren't theoretical things that you're studying out of a textbook for the sake of passing a test. They're things that are going to make your life easier. And the way that all three of those kind of came together is really beautiful, because understanding self-care and proactive self-care, not just when you're feeling like junk and you need to do something about it, but that idea of identifying how to stay in balance rather than dealing with it after you're out of balance, is something so important. And then having that healthier sense of well-being allows you to be more confident, and using the financial literacy pillar to be confident in opening a bank account and going in and talking to people who have knowledge about finances, and then parlaying both of those things together for this big trip. And those are things that are just going to continue to help you as you go into university and as you go into life. Those are life skills that are not going to just sit in a textbook anywhere.
Yeah, 100%. And like you said, it isn't just in high school, everyone learns the same thing, right? Whereas in all of the pillars are laid out very well to kind of fit everyone's different situation, right? It's very kind of, this is kind of like the surface stuff, and then you pick what you kind of want to like dig deep on, and it allows you to do that. It's very customizable, which I appreciated because I was able to kind of change it and modify it as my situations and workplaces and stuff changed throughout my gap year.
Yeah, nothing is cast in stone. This is about your exploration and learning and discovering things about yourself and about the world, and we just want to be alongside to help you and give you the confidence that you need, or kind of as we were talking before we started recording, but also give parents the reassurance that there are people out there in this kind of confusing gap year space that is going to provide that support and that guidance, because your parents likely never took a gap year. And so how do you actually feel supported, and how do your parents feel confident in your decision? I think that's something that you were mentioning about your friends as well.
This episode is brought to you by the Cooperators, one of our incredible corporate sponsors. We couldn't be more grateful to the Cooperators for investing in the young people of Canada. They truly believe in the power of the voice of young people and love to support in their development. Thank you so much, Cooperators, for believing in CanGap and for supporting so many young people through their transformative journey on their gap year. Cooperators is the lead sponsor on our Student of Leadership and Humanity Award. This is an award that recognizes students as they develop skills over the course of their gap year. And Cooperators sees how this tool can really support students on their journey during their gap year as well as after their gap year. Thank you so much, Cooperators.